Are you in love, or are you in love with the idea of being in love? Hey there, it's Dilara. So today's episode is going to be a little bit free flow. It's a bit of questions. I wish that we could have those questions face to face, but let's try it this way. I was just wondering that, are you in love, or are you in love with the idea of being in love? Are you actually in love with the person you're with, or are you in love with the idea, the perception, or the fantasy of who that person is or what they could be? So it's another question. Are you in love with that person, who they are right now, or you're in love with their potential? And the reason that I'm asking these questions, just a discussion, just the things that think about, these questions is main reasons why that after 3 months couples split up or they go to the next stage of their relationship. Because it's very interesting that, before you're dating, so many people have the list of, oh, I want him to look like that, I want her to be like this, I want him to have these qualities, I want her to show up like that, all that kind of thing. So it's good, it's very healthy, so that gives clarity that what we're looking for. But are we okay with when we meet that person that can see the real person, who they are, which I refer to this the shadow side of it, because in the first beginning of the relationship, like the honeymoon period, they could sneeze and then you'd be like, oh my god, this is the most amazing sneeze that I ever heard in my entire life. And then they could just wear, I don't know, maybe just socks with their flip-flops. People don't normally do that, and you'd be like, oh my god, look at him, he looks so adorable, so handsome, right? Because your hormones is all over the place, right? Oxytocin is so high, and then they could do anything and you would find it sexy and hot. So obviously after 3 months, things do change, right? So your hormone levels just calm down. So you're more like back into your body, and you start to see things more realistically. And this is the part that it actually shows for couples that if they're going to go to the next stage or they're going to break up. It's because, like I said, the hormones just calm down and people start to see that, oh my god, why are you sneezing like that? It's disgusting, right? Yeah, but it's the same sneeze. Like, he didn't change his sneeze. It's not like sneezing more sleazy now, you're just sneezing, but it starts to bother you. So my question is, yes, it's the whole hormone part of it. We on the cloud 9 and honeymoon period and stuff like that. But also, is it because that you start to see who they are realistically, and then the person that you fell in love with, or the person that you really felt attracted to, was more that your imagination because you fell in love with the concept of being in love and falling in love? Or did you really fall in love with the real person? So I always wonder that, because this is the stage that we live in our heads, and what happens is it makes us less compassionate, less accepting to other person. And that's the part that the judgment kicks in. We start to judge the other person, and we start to experience those disappointments. So what is this period for you? When you look at your relationship, do you actually see yourself loving and accepting your partner's light and the shadow side of it? And some people call light and dark. I refer to shadow, which is we all have it. The things that we don't show it to people straight away. Some of us never share that part of us with anybody ever again, because we think that it's dark. It's the thoughts that we don't even want to acknowledge. And are you going to be able to handle that person when they actually bring out the real them, when they're not trying to impress you anymore? Or is it you're going to be in the place that you always think that, no, oh, they were like that, they have changed. oh, at the beginning, he used to do this, but now he's not doing that. Or she used to say that to me, but she doesn't anymore. Is it those expectations, those things that actually they said or they didn't say, or the way that the meanings you give it to it, right? So I'm just wondering, so what can we do about it? Let's say that you actually had your realizations that you fell in love with the concept of being in love, or you fell in love with the idea of falling in love, or you fell in love with the idea of that person. So what is the solution? Is there any solution? The first thing that you need to remember, nobody's perfect, okay? Just like you're not perfect either. We can't expect anybody to be perfect, and the saying goes that actually perfection is the highest form of abuse. I really agree with that because I'm a recovering perfectionist, and nothing was ever enough for me. Nothing like I would do wouldn't be enough for me. It had to be perfect, it had to be incredible, and obviously that has reflected in my relationships in the past as well. Forget about the other person, right? Let's go back to ourselves, because it's us creating that perception. Is it because we feel like the person we want to be with, it's too impossible to exist? Or is it we just have this incredible high expectations from people? It's not even standards. I always support high standards. I always tell people that keep your standards high. It's very important. For the ladies, keep your standards high and your heels even higher. So that's a different thing. For gentlemen, I don't know if you wear the heels, that's all cool. This is not about the standards, this is about the expectations, right? So do you actually expect a lot from people? Is it because you expect a lot from yourself? Do you deliver those expectations that you have from yourself? Or is it because that you're struggling with that, so you feel like somebody else should just give them to you? The most important thing is that it's so important, we need to understand, like I said, nobody's perfect and everybody has flaws. Everybody has flaws. But in the same time, everybody has magic as well. So if we focus on that person's flaws, what we're going to do, we're just going to feed that side of it. If we start to judge them, if we start to not accept the parts that maybe not so sexy about somebody, what we're doing, we're just feeding that part of it. And when we feed something, what we experience that more. And you know, life is all about appreciation, about gratitude. How about you start to see the amazing things about that person? How about that you just make a list of the things that they're so, like, it's so amazing about them. You're so grateful about them. Write down their high qualities and the things that you find are really attractive. And then the things that you don't like, just have a look at it. Is that realistic? Is that realistic? Like, your expectations from a relationship, is it realistic? Do you actually reach to those expectations? If you do, definitely go for it. If you hit the expectations you expect from ideal partner, if you actually have the really high standards from a relationship and you deliver, you match those standards, definitely go for it. But if you're not, you just got to be honest with yourself. And then you need to really understand what is the behind of your high expectations, or this Hollywood movie, or the potential that you're in love with. What is the behind of it? What is the challenge that for you to see the real person? Or is it something that it could be self-sabotage? Is it because you're not allowing yourself to be in love with somebody? Is it the parts of you that you're struggling to accept about yourself? You are struggling to actually see about yourself. So like I said, today's video is just about questions. I'm just asking questions. I don't know the answers, but these are very powerful questions. I think it's very important for everybody to sit down and really think about it, that what's really real, what's really not, what is the intention behind it. Be really honest with ourselves, because the best relationships, the healthiest relationships can be created, that's the word, and maintained through really high self-awareness. And that level of self-awareness comes with honesty, like brutal honesty with ourselves. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. Let me know your answers. If anything I can help you and support you, let me know, and I will see you in the next episode.